Welcome, ma'am.
Yeah.
Shall we start, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
No problem is insurmountable. With a little courage, teamwork, and determination, a person can overcome anything. Let me begin by giving a warm welcome to everyone. I am now Adv.Rajeswari, our CFO for this occasion. We, the Department of Commerce, take gladness in hosting this event on social activism, a motivation to social change.
Now I call upon the first to dedicate the welcome address for them.
Darkness can't hide darkness. Only light can do that. Hate can't hate. Only love can do that. This is Vikashna G from First Become Radius. On behalf of the department, I take the privilege to welcome our Chief Guest of the Day, Adv.Rajeswari ma'am, Human Rights Law and Social Activist. Our Head of the Department, Dr. S.M. Yamuna ma'am, faculties of the department, and the fellow students to this wonderful webinar session on social activism. I thoroughly welcome you all once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikashna.
On this magnificent day, we have our generous advocate, Chief Guest Rajeshwari. It is a great privilege to have you here, ma'am.
I'm very proud about our achievements. I now call Deepika for third uniform periods to deliver the guest lecture.
Very good afternoon, all present here. In lieu of the department, I have the tribute to introduce our very prolific and generous guest, Advocate Rajeshwari ma'am, who is a human rights lawyer and social activist. She is also a writ specialist at Supreme Court and High Court of India, chairwoman of Rudra Varahi Social Services, president of Raj for Justice Advocacy. She is a director of Varahi Free Legal Services, Virtual Legal Network, Astro Research, World, alumni of National Law Schools of India University and Anna University. Our guests have a vast knowledge in legal field. As being a human rights lawyer, post-graduated in multiple laws like human rights law, corporate law and business law from various national law schools of India University like Bangalore, Lucknow and graduated in engineering from Anna University, Chennai. She also have a prior experience in software field and an expert in developing applications and Excel macros using Visual Basic and developing reports using business objects and ETL process with SSIS. To add up a light, she was rewarded as an educational district rank in SSLC 94% and district rank in Tamil language paper 92% in HSC by State Board of Education, Tamil Nadu. Also, she got rewarded in multiple educational degrees in bachelor and PGs, two professionals in engineering and law. Also, she was awarded by the Chief Justice of India, Supreme Court of India in New Delhi. Our guest advocate Rajeshwari was awarded Bravo Award for Skender Electric Project and contributed 2 technical papers and 2 innovations at Tech Mahindra. Also, she got awarded 2 Byways Awards by Hexaver Technologies Limited, India. She also have a court practice from lower court, district court, various states, high courts up to Supreme Court. She is working for the welfare of the society through Rudra Varahi Social Services, serving for vulnerable class of people like old-aged women, children and the needy. She filed public interest litigations at Supreme Court of India for the welfare of the society in the interest of justice. She has engaged not only in academics and professional field but also in sports and extracurricular activities. She was awarded Best Dressed Team at Tech Mahindra, Bangalore, and also she has participated in intercorporate basketball Winter Slam Championship at Tech Mahindra, Pune. She has worked for various clients all over the globe like UPRR, American Greetings, Unisys Corporations USA, Hexaver Technologies Limited, Chennai, and many more clients all over the nation. Our today's guest, Advocate Rajeshwari, is an expert in Sanskrit, Marathi, Saurashtra, Gujarati, and many more. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Let's move into the most awaited part of the session. I welcome our chief guest to address the gathering. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you for your kind introduction. Thank you, Dr. Yamuna ma'am, and thank you for Dr. Mahalakshmi ma'am, who have kindly invited me for this guest lecture.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Good afternoon, all students. Yeah. It's nice to give a lecture to become students here. Let me start the lecture.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. So today's topic is social activism. Can anyone explain what is activism? Whether you people have any knowledge or anything known about activism or social activism? Okay, let me continue. So, activism. What is activism? Activism is advocacy actually. So, it consists of efforts to promote, embed, direct, or intervene in social, political, economic, or environmental reform with the desire to make changes in the society towards a perceived greater good. So, activism is actually an art of advocacy. So, what is social activism? Social activism is working with other people to bring about a social change. So, the word social refers to society, and the activism forces opportunity to participation. That is, advocates others to participate in social reform. So, actually, social activism is an art of advocacy to advocate others to participate in social reform. So, it actually reflects a personal choice to engage in the society. The participation, if the participation is forced or coerced, it is not social activism. The social activism should be an intentional act by an individual to bring about social or political change. So, let's see what is activist. Who is activist? An activist is a person who engages and who campaigns for some kind of social change. So, example, when you participate in a protest for closing the neighborhood nuisance, then you are called an activist. Activist can be of two types: peaceful activism and violent activism. So, activist represents both noun and adjective. In noun, it refers to a reformer who works to achieve social or political change. And in adjective, it is used as advocating or engaging in activism. So, activist or active, what it is? Active itself, all of you know what is active. Active means we have to dispose to take action for a change. That is called activism. So, basically, there are some types of activisms are there. Those are human rights activism, environment activism, animal rights activism, liberation and consideration community. Uh, excuse me, Dr. Yamuna ma'am, whether I am given access to the share PPTs and those things?
Vishwapriya ma'am, you have given access to.
Sorry, I am not able to share PPT. Access is
No, ma'am,
not.
I have given the access to present.
No, I am not getting.
We'll check it, ma'am. Just a minute. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
File sharing is not there. Only screen I can share.
Ma'am, in the share button, you can click and select your file, ma'am.
File that option is not coming. Even video option was not coming. I relogged and got that option. File option is not coming. It's just showing my screen itself. Share option is not there. File sharing is not there. Okay, let me continue.
Ma'am, you have the option to share, ma'am. I have transferred the rights.
Yeah, you can transfer. No, it's not coming. Shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Have you given rights? Right to share? Okay, let me continue. So we were seeing what are the types of activism. So there are 4 types of activism: human rights, environmental, animal rights, liberation and conservative activism. So under human rights, UN has designed some universal declaration of human rights. There are 30 human rights which United Nations have declared in Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Many countries, including India, has to follow those Universal Declaration of Human Rights. 30 human rights are there. So it will come under differently. We can see in different section Human Rights Act. Now, next is environmental. Environmental activism is about natural resources protection. There are different laws are there, Biological Diversity Act and much more are there. Then animal rights. It deals about animal welfare, animal caretaking and animal protection. It comes under Animal Welfare Act. And next is liberation and conservative community. It's about religious and community work. Some activism will be there which focuses on a particular community and particular religion. Next, methods. So let's see what are the methods available in activism. Actually, activists employ many different methods and tactics in pursuing their goals. The tactics chosen are significant because they can determine how activists are perceived and what they are capable of accomplishing. Example, non-violent tactics generally tend to garner more public sympathy than violent ones and are more than twice as effective in achieving stated goals. So there are different methods of activism. So let's see what are those. Political activism, internet activism, economic activism, art activism, science activism, community activism, media activism, peace activism, propaganda activism, protest activism, strike activism, and activism industry. So what is political activism? It involves judicial, judges, and political combines. That is called political activism. And next, internet activism. It involves digital rights movement, technology things, IT, information, ICT. Then, what is economic activism? Economic activism involves branding, consumer, and shareholder things. Then, art. It involves fashion and craft things. Science. Scientific research comes under science activism. Community. Community is cooperative societies and those things. Media. Various cultural activities comes under media. And peace activism. Non-violent movements come under peace activism. Propaganda. It is communication things come under propaganda activism. Protest. Demonstration, direct action, sit-in protest come under protest. Strike, hunger strikes come under strike activism. And activism industry. What is activism industry? Several non-profit organizations, non-governmental organizations comes under activism industry. Then let's see what is social movement. Social movement. Social movement is an collective action that is purposeful, organized, and sustained over a period of time, and it becomes known as social movement. There exist various social movements in past and in new things. So what are the causes of social movement? Cultural drifts, social disorganization, and social injustice. These are the causes for the social movement. Let's see few old social movements. Brahma Samaj. All of you know Rajaram Mohan Rai has initiated Brahma Samaj. It is a socio-religious movement. And Arya Samaj. Swami Dayanand Saraswati initiated Arya Samaj. Ramakrishna Mission. Swami Vivekananda has initiated this Ramakrishna Mission. Aligarh movement. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan has initiated this Ramakrishna Mission, this Aligarh movement. Then Home Rule movement. Anni Patient and Bal Gangadhar Tilak has initiated this Home Rule movement. Chipko movement. Sundar Lal has initiated this Chipko movement. Narmada Bachao. Medha Petkar has initiated this Narmada Bachao movement. Vishwa Bharati. Rabindranath Tagore has initiated this Vishwa Bharati. People's Education Society. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has initiated this People's Education Society. Servants of India Society. G.K. Gokhale has initiated this Servants of India Society. Satya Sodak Samaj. Jyotiba Phule has initiated this Satya Sodak Samaj. Swadeshi movement and Satyagraha, all of you know, those are used in freedom fighting. Then let's see some of the new social movements. In new era, there are social movements which are as follows: animal rights movement, anti-war movement, disability rights movement, free software movement, Occupy movement, Shahbag movement. Shahbag movement is a recent movement. It is against illegal crimes and those things. So let's see how social activism playing a key role in Indian democracy. Yes, social activism is a key to survival of our Indian democracy. It is not the only instrument for furthering the democracy. However, social activists seek to engage our civil society in a discourse about key issues which is important for promoting this democracy. Only activists are not the only ones to ensure continued growth of democracy in India. Our Indian citizens and civil society should take part to ensure democracy flourishes in our nation. Unprincipled social activism will not help any democratic nation, or on the contrary, it will be a damage to our nation. Activists with agendas of gaining power and money will not be able to sustain for long time, nor they will help Indian democracy in any way. Social activists to play in the integral role in maintenance of democracy. But social activism is not the key to the survival of democracy if political leaders inept and businessmen resort to bribe giving and money laundering. In such a scenario, not even the determined social activist will be able to combine successfully for any cause. If society is not alert about the changes that are happening, social activism can do little to maintain healthy functionality of democracy in any nation. Also, if the media does not resist the tempt to resort the paid news and share campaigns emanating from political parties, cross all party, the Indian democracy will be left in shambles. So, social activists can lay down their lives, but it will not help them, because if the government and corporate leaders continue to function in a self-serving coercive. So, democracy aims at putting the power in the hands of people. Yes, it is for the people and by the people. Even our Rudra social service uses this principle. It's for the people and by the people. So any social activism activity should use this principle. It should be driven by people force. But if citizens themselves are apathetic and not willing to get involved in key issues that are important for societal growth, then social activism becomes empty and meaningless. It is only with the support of social activism by celebrities and common man, a principled media, that one can hope to active transparency and accountability in India. This will restore the Indian democracy to its forever glory. Even if leaders attempt to raise any issues, we are seeing they will be facing with oppositions from rivals or varying factions. This holds true for leaders belonging to several different parties in India. If the administration does not work with the leaders to implement reforms effectively, the cause of democracy can be lost forever. Social activism is just a part of the larger picture. So, let's see in Indian history. In Indian history, in 1950 and 1960, the civil rights movement characterized by peaceful protest and activism addressed the long overdue enforcement of laws. Even in 1960s, women activists not only marched in support of civil rights, they once again fought for women's rights as they loudly advocated for passage of equal rights movement. So, our nation's father, Mahatma Gandhi, who is an Indian lawyer, social reformer, a writer, is called the father of social activism. So, the father of social activism is our nation's father, Mahatma Gandhi. And the father of Indian social revolution is widely attributed to Mahatma Jyotirao Phule. He was a social activist, thinker, anti-caste, social reformer, and writer from Maharashtra. His work extended to many fields, including eradication of untouchability, caste system, and for his efforts in educating women and lower caste people. So, Jyotiba Phule is called the father of Indian social revolution movement. Next, Savitribai Phule. Who is Savitribai Phule? Savitribai Phule is the first female teacher of India. So, she is the one who got first education in female in India. She is the one who opened schools for girl students in India. So, who is she? She is the wife of Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. So, she is wife of father of India Revolution movement, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule. So, Savitribai Phule was a social reformer of 19th century born in Maharashtra. She was the pioneer of women's education in Maharashtra, in the country. Revered as the country's first woman teacher, Savitribai Phule was the wife of Jyotirao Phule. Her contributions in promoting education for the socially oppressed classes and women are important to read. She was born in Maharashtra, Naigaon, Satara on 3rd January 1831 to Gandoji Nause Patil and Lakshmi Bai. Even every government department in Maharashtra in India celebrates her birthday today. She was born to parents belonging to Mali community, which comes under other backward categories today. After getting married to Jyotiba Phule at the age of 9, yes, at the age of 9 she got married to Jyotiba Phule. She was educated by him and later she used that education. It is to note that she is the first female to get education and she was educated by Jyotiba Phule, her husband. She was educated by him and later she used that education to fight inequality, graded patriarchy, and social oppression prevalent in Maharashtra, especially in Pune. Pune was characterized by patriarchy and caste system. The revolutionary thought of Jyotirao Phule to educate the so-called lower caste to help them realize their marginalization evoked a sense of determination in Savitribai Phule too. Savitribai Phule and her education. Jyotirao Phule and Savitribai Phule considered education to be a tool to bring changes in the conditions of society oppressed classes. The idea behind promoting education was to eliminate the idea prevalent at that time that lower caste people and women were not competent enough to take education. The duo is revered as the first social reformers who recognized the importance of education to fight the social menace of inequality. Savitribai Phule gave importance to education of women to promote social transformation. Along with Jyotirao Phule, Savitribai Phule opened the first women's school in Maharashtra in 1948. The school was flagged off at Bidawada, which was located at Budwarpet. For the lower caste, she also established a school in Pune at Maharwada. Savitribai Phule realized and resonated with the idea of not only curbing the social oppression by addressing the thought, but to also to solve their basic needs like food, health, clothes, etc. She promoted the idea of teachers' education. Yes, she was the first to promote the idea of teachers' education. Savitribai Phule was also a part whose literature is considered as literature of uprose. Yeah, she is a poet. She was a poet. Her important works are Kavya Phule, Bhavan Kashi Shubodh Ratnakar, Matusri Savitribai Phulenche Wagani, Jyotibachi Bhashana. Her speeches at various places as president of Satya Sodak Parishad. Satya Sodak Parishad is a social movement introduced by Jyotiba Phule, her husband, and after the death of Jyotiba Phule, she continued to work in Satya Sodak Parishad and the letters she returned to her husband Mahatma Phule. Savitribai Phule is hailed as India's one of the first modern feminists. Savitribai Phule took on the work of Satya Sodak Samaj. With Jyotirao Phule, she had opened total 18 schools for girls. She opened Mahila Seva Mandal in 1852 to raise awareness about women's rights. Along with Jyotirao Phule, she opened a care center for the pregnant rape victims. The center was called Bal Hatya Pratibandhak Griha, Native Female School in Pune, and the Society for Promoting the Education of Mahars, Mahangs, and etc. were two educational trusts opened by Savitribai Phule along with Jyotirao Phule in 1850. Savitribai Phule played an important role in fighting for women's rights in India during British rule and is described as one of the first generation modern Indian feminists. Savitribai Phule was a social reformer and a poet. Do you know how she died? Savitribai Phule died while taking care of the patients suffering from worldwide third pandemic of bubonic. Bubonic, it is a bacterial infection plague. So she died while taking care of the patients of world's pandemic. So let's see who are other Indian feminists. Rajaram Mohan Rai. All of you know Rajaram Mohan Rai. He worked for sati, polygamy, child marriage, education, property, inheritance, and rights for women. We have discussed about Jyotirao Phule and Savitribai Phule. They worked for girls' education and lower caste people. Next, Tarabai Sinde. She is first modern Indian feminist. She started Sri Purush Tulna. Pandita Ramabai. She worked for women in British India. Many are there like Kamini Roy. She was also a poet. And people and great leaders known for activism worldwide. Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi, as you know, he is father of our nation and father of social activism. So here, then Martin Luther King. He belongs to America, and he is also a great social activist worldwide. Many are there like Nelson Mandela. He belongs to South Africa. He worked for black race. Anna Hazare. Anna Hazare fought for political, official corruptions, government transparency, etc. And Helene Jelly, South African journalist. Many are there like that. Mother Teresa, for her charity work, she worked for leprosy patients and everything. Diana Princess, she worked for cancer patients. Like this, many are there. So, like this, in Indian history, we have many such examples. So, there exist four roles for a social activist. A social activist should exhibit these four roles. What are they? Citizen. He should be a citizen. He should be responsible to all social good. Rebel. He should be a rebel. He should say no to any anti-social activity. He should be a rebel. Then, a social activist should be a change agent. Change agent. He should educate, create awareness, and organize. Finally, a social activist should be a reformer. Yes, a social activist should work officially, politically, and judicially to incorporate solutions into new laws. So, a social activist should be a reformer who should work officially and politically, judicially to incorporate solutions into new laws. So, these are the basic four rules of a social activist. We can say one is social activist if he is a responsible citizen, rebel, he should say no to antisocial activities, he should be a change agent, he should educate, create awareness, organize for bringing a change in society. He should be a reformer. He should work officially, politically, and judicially to incorporate solutions into new laws. So, we've seen human right is a type of activism. So, who is called a human right activist? A person who individually or work with others acts to promote and protect human rights. Those are called human rights activists. They can be journalists, environmentalists, whistleblowers, trade union, lawyers, teachers, housing companions, participate in direct or just individual acting alone. So, who is father of human rights movement? The young lawyer Rene Cassin, soldier in First World War, is called the father of human rights movement. So, what are the three important human rights? Right to life, right to live, right to health, right to freedom from torture. So, human rights are based on values that keep society fair, just, and equal. So, what are the fundamental rights in India? Freedom of speech and expression, freedom of assembly without arms, freedom of association, freedom of movement throughout the territory of our country, freedom to reside and settle in any part of the country of India, freedom to practice any profession. So, who is first human rights activist? Cyrus, the great and first king of Persia, who freed the slaves of Babylon. Who are some women human rights activists? Susan B. Anthony, she is an iconic woman. Who is real activist? Someone who is active in campaigning for change normally on political and social issues is called real activities. Some of the six big activists: Philip Randolph, Whitney Young, James Farmer, Martin Luther, and John Lewis. Top three activists in world: Greta Thunberg, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King. So, some important universal declaration of human rights. Article 1 states right to equality. Article 6 states right to recognition as a person before law. Article 7 says right to equality. Right. Article 8 says right to remedy by competent tribunal. Article 5 says freedom from torture and degrading treatment. So, what are the 30 human rights in India? Right to life. All human beings are free and equal. No discrimination. Right to education. No slavery. No torture and inhuman treatment. Same right to use law. Equal before law. Right to treat fair by court. No unfair determinant. Right to trial. Innocent. Right to privacy. Right to asylum. Freedom to movement and residence. Right to nationality. Right to marry and have family. Right to own things. Freedom of thought. Right to assemble. Right to democracy. Right to social security. Right to work. Right to rest and holiday. Freedom of opinion and expression. Right of service. Right of cultural art. Freedom allowed worldwide. Subject to law. Human rights cannot be taken away. This is the final human right. Human rights cannot be taken away. So, we have seen some details about human rights activism here. So, like this, environmental and other activisms we can discuss later.
You can write any questions in the comments.
Voice is not clear.
Students, thank you, ma'am. Students, if you have questions, please do raise. Or
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, good
Ma'am, I'm
afternoon.
Sanjay Kritika of second year BCom BPS.
Yeah. Yes, Sanjay.
I have a question for you, ma'am. What inspired you to become an advocate, ma'am?
Sorry.
Ma'am, what inspired you? Who inspired you to make you become as an advocate, ma'am?
It's in my blood by birth. When
Okay.
I was studying LKG, I used to
Yes,
say,
ma'am.
I will put black coat, okay?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have a question related to the topic.
Sorry, your name please?
I have a question related to student topic. So
What's your
we
name?
have actually said
Name.
we have actually said about the animal activism in the
Animal? Your voice is not clear.
you can use your headphones, Ritik, Rishi. You can use your headphones, or you can pass the question to the MCT.
Uma Bharati, you can have any questions? Rishi? Ma'am, just a minute, ma'am.
Yes.
It's not audible.
It's audible, Uma. You can raise question.
Ma'am, I have a question related to this topic, ma'am.
Yes. It's not
So
visible.
my question is, how is animal activism viewed in our country? How is it followed in our country, ma'am?
Many animal welfare or
Was I audible, ma'am?
your voice is partially audible. What's your name? You haven't introduced yourself. What's your name?
Ma'am, he is Rishi.
Okay. He's asking about animal. What he is asking? How animal activism came? What was
Yes,
his
he is
question?
asking about animal activism, how it is being provided.
Many animal welfare organizations are there in India and even worldwide. So those organizations help for taking care of the roadside animals and those things. And many human beings, we are giving much torture to animals on road, and those things are going. No, some Blue Cross, some teams are there for saving those animals.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Not only organization, you can take self-care and you can also motivate and give awareness for others, telling how we have to care about animals just like human beings. We can care about all the living beings, including animals, plants. It's not only for human being. Anything you do for caring a living being and the welfare of the living being, it comes under activism. Not only human rights and human welfare comes under activism. Every living being should be protected.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
I got the answer.
Okay. Any more question?
Shall we go with the vote of thanks, ma'am?
Yes. Any questions are there?
Yes. Students, if you have questions, please do raise. I hope you have made them so clear, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. I thought it would be an interactive session, but voice is not
Yes,
coming
ma'am.
from students, and I am not able to present.
No, here there
PPT.
is a little bit network issue, ma'am.
Okay.
So they are a little bit disturbed.
And, the visibility also different. Even I am not getting video icon. Usually I use Cisco.
Yes.
But it's,
Okay,
I
ma'am.
don't know which version it is.
Next time we'll just arrange through Google Meet, ma'am.
Okay, I'm not
So that
able
it would
to.
be helpful. Yeah,
I
yes,
thought
ma'am.
of having some interactive talk and those things.
Yes,
but
yes.
I'm not able
Next
to
time
see.
we'll-
I'm not able to
Okay.
see anyone. It's like
Anyone?
solo talk.
Okay, ma'am. Next time we'll do arrange, ma'am. If we on the video, there is a network issue, ma'am. So that only it is off, ma'am.
Even my video button is not coming. Yeah. So I'm not able to share files. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, if questions are not there, we can wind up with.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Use what you have. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you have. Now, we are at the end of the session. I now call upon Yogadarshini of 3rd B.Com BPS to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, one and all. I am Logadarshini B.Com BPS of 3rd B.Com BPS here to present the vote of thanks. I deem it great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion. First of all, let me start by giving glory to the Almighty God for making today's occasion a resounding success. First and foremost, I thank our management, principal and vice principal for granting us permission and being very supportive in every situation. I Grateful to the head of the department, Dr. S.M. Yamuna ma'am, for conducting a resourceful seminar. I thank all our faculties for stewardship and their unstepped support. I would like to express my gratitude to our distinguished chief guest, Adv.Rajeswari ma'am, for accepting our invitation despite her busy schedule. Happy to know more about more Indian-based social activities like Rajaram Mohan Rai, Jyoti Rai, Tarabai Signi. In that, specifically as a woman, I admired and wanted to know about Savitri Bai, who was an active poet and an author about Satyasodha Prishit, well known as a modern feminist. Thank you, ma'am, for pouring us an ocean of knowledge in social activism, feminism, and human rights. Your speech was really inspiring us, ma'am. Last but not least, I thank you, my friends, for your cooperation in making this webinar a resounding success. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you all once again for being present at this wonderful event.
Thank you. We'll have another offline session also, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.